So as we now approach the tail end of this championship season, we are also approaching the opening of the summer transfer window, and as that's the case, a few transfer rumours are continuing to bubble away in the background. If you've not been keeping up to date with this series, then make sure to check out the previous episodes which have gone out over the last few weeks. Obviously we're not doing these quite as regular as we would do when the transfer window is open, but we've still got quite a few rumours to talk over in today's video. And as always, if we do miss anything, make sure to get any other rumours that we miss off in the comments down below and we'll give them a mention next time. But without any further ado, let's just jump in. And we'll start out with one of the biggest rumours going around the championship right now, and that's that Sheffield United are interested in Norwich City playmaker Borja Sainz. Obviously, he has been one of the standout players in the championship this season. 17 goals, 4 assists for the 24-year-old. He's in the hunt for the Golden Boot, and going off the latest report, it seems like Sheffield United want to sign the Spaniard, whether they're promoted to the Premier League or whether they're playing in the Championship next season, obviously. In an ideal situation, Sheffield United will be playing Premier League football next season. You'd think that that's where their recruitment team are looking towards at the moment, but in the case of Borja Sainz, the Blades seem to think he's a realistic target even if they're still playing in the Championship next season. Now, what's interesting about the 24-year-old is that come the summer he'll only have 1 year left on his deal at Norwich. His current contract with Norwich is set to expire in 2026, and so if they do sense that chance to cash in on him, I could see him leaving at the end of the season. There was quite a bit of interest in him back in the January window, but that didn't materialise to anything in the end, with a few clubs from abroad seemingly looking at him. But when you have a standout season in the Championship like he has done this time around, you're always going to attract that sort of interest. Sheffield United fans, would you take him at Bramall Lane? Let me know down below. And one way or another, it looks more than likely that Richard Kone will be playing in the Championship next season. Whether that's with Wycombe, we'll have to wait and see, obviously. Wycombe made the bold decision to stay firm and keep their striker over the January window, despite plenty of interest from the Championship, especially from Luton, who went in with multiple bids towards the end of the window. If memory serves me right, I think their last bid was worth around 7 million. All of those bids were rejected by Wycombe, as obviously Kone was seen crucial to their promotion push. But during this second half of the season, there have been several Championship clubs who have been monitoring his progress ahead of potentially going in for him in the summer transfer window. Now, where Wycombe's bargaining position will be probably depends on what league they're playing in next season. You know, it's still up in the air whether they'll be playing in League One or playing in the Championship. Good news for Wycombe is that the striker is still under contract with them until 2026, and so even if they don't go up, you can still imagine that they'd be able to command a really decent fee for him, especially considering all the Championship clubs that are supposedly interested in him right now. Earlier this month, it was reported that scouts from Middlesbrough, Ipswich and Southampton have all been to Wycombe games recently to check up on the striker. Obviously, Southampton and Ipswich in the Premier League right now, but both expected to be playing Championship football next season. There have also been murmurings that the likes of Norwich, Crystal Palace, Brentford, Celtic, Rangers, a few clubs from France as well have also been interested, so we really could get into a situation where there is a bit of a bidding war around Kone come the summer. He's got 18 goals in League One this season, only 21 years old, so at such a good age. Luton were prepared to really push the boat out to try and get him in January. They didn't manage to get him in the end, but there's definitely going to be a ton of interest in these next few months. Another League One forward who could be on the move to a Championship club over the summer is Ricky-Jade Jones. Now, thinking back to January, quite a few Championship clubs were sniffing around, but ultimately none of that interest amounted to anything, as he's still playing for Peterborough. What makes these rumours even more interesting is the fact that he is out of contract come the end of the season. Middlesbrough, one of the clubs still keeping tabs on him. They were interested going back to January as well. But if they do look to sign him in the summer, they will face quite a bit of competition. Thinking back to the January window, you also had the likes of Cardiff, Luton, Norwich and Sheffield United who were being linked with him. Now, while he is available technically on a free transfer once his contract expires with Peterborough, clubs would be required to pay Peterborough some compensation money because of the player's age. So that's worth taking into consideration, but still someone who's on the radar of a few Championship clubs, it would seem. Scouts from Crystal Palace have been keeping close tabs on Middlesbrough midfielder Hayden Hackney, as Palace are reportedly thinking about an offer for him in the summer transfer window. Now, Hackney, for quite a few windows now, has often been linked with Premier League clubs, clubs from abroad as well. It seems more than likely that that interest will come back around in the summer again. again. Obviously, one of the most highly rated up-and-coming midfielders in the Championship. He's only 22 years old, has been a key performer for Middlesbrough. The good news for Borough is that the player is under contract with the club until 2027, and so you'd imagine they would be able to command a decent transfer fee for him. But the interest from a club like Palace doesn't come as a massive surprise. In recent windows, Palace have done really well by investing into the Championship, you know, thinking about the likes of Adam Wharton, Aberieze, Michael Elise, who they've picked up from Championship clubs in recent seasons. It's the business model for them. It's worked out really well. Hackney could be the next player on their radar. Eddie Coadio is the latest youngster, being linked with the move to the Stadium of Light. Obviously, this is the sort of business model that Sunderland look towards, looking at young, promising players from abroad, and the Fiorentina defender is the latest player on their radar. He's only 18 years old, still looks like quite a raw prospect. He's not made a senior appearance for Fiorentina in Serie A this season, as he spent this season developing in the academy and playing for some of their reserve sides, but he's an 18-year-old defender. He can play both at centre-half and at right-back, so fairly versatile, and it's been reported that Sunderland would be prepared to offer him a 5-year contract at the Stadium of Light. So going into the summer, he's definitely one to keep your eye on. Leeds United winger Jack Harrison could find his career at a bit of a crossroads come the summer transfer window, as it has been reported that Everton won't be signing him on a permanent basis in the summer. Obviously, he spent the last couple of seasons now out on loan at Goodison Park, but with David Moyes keen to put his own stamp back onto this Everton side, it seems like they're already looking at alternatives in his position, and so they won't be pursuing that permanent deal. Now, what happens with Harrison, I guess we'll have to wait and see. He's still under contract with Leeds until the summer of 2028, so still got plenty of years to run on that contract. Is there any sort of eventuality where he's welcomed back at Leeds United, or have those bridges completely been burnt and there's no way for him to go back now? Well, it's certainly an interesting one, because if Everton aren't going to be taking him on a permanent basis, it begs the question, who will? Will there be a bit of Premier League interest come the summer? We'll have to wait and see. Leeds United are said to be one of the clubs interested in Rangers midfielder Nicolas Raskin. The Belgian midfielder definitely been one of Rangers' better performing players this season. And looking towards the summer transfer window, Leeds have already been linked with a few midfielders. Obviously, a few weeks back we spoke about the links to Calvin Phillips and whether or not that would be a realistic option for Leeds, and whether or not Leeds would even want to go in for a player like Phillips right now. But Raskin's someone who's on the up at the moment. He's only 24 years old. Now, he is under contract at Ibrox until 2027, but going off some recent reports, it has been claimed that this transfer could be made maybe a little bit more seamless by the fact that 49ers have an impending takeover at Rangers on the horizon. So with both clubs then potentially under the same umbrella, moves between Rangers and Leeds could become a little bit commonplace in the years to come. But he's definitely one to keep your eye on. There have been a few links to some other Premier League sides as well, and it remains to be seen how much Rangers would actually be looking for as well. Another one that Leeds United are still looking at is Nico Elvedi. They were looking at him back in the January transfer window, but obviously a deal didn't come together then. The 28-year-old centre-half has been playing for Borussia Mönchengladbach since 2015 and has briefly played under Daniel Farke as well, when obviously Farke was managing in Germany. So there is a little bit of a link there between the player and current head coach. He is under contract with the German club until 2027, but I mean, certainly providing if Leeds are promoted to the Premier League in the summer, they'll definitely have the finances to manoeuvre this sort of deal. Within his contract, there's also supposedly a release clause worth just over £8 million as well, so certainly from a transfer fee point of view, this one would be a pretty affordable transfer, all things considered. But there you guys have it. That will wrap it up for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you did go on to enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and if you've seen any other rumours going on around the Championship, make sure to let me know about them in the comments down below. Apart from that though guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.